Now let's take you to Parliament, where the debate on the 2024 budget presentation has begun. And already Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah says the budget will stabilize the economy and spur growth. Our man, parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante, is there for us. But let's take you live to Parliament to listen into portions of that debate.
Of Honorable Isaac Adongo. Honorable, you have 20 minutes. 20 minutes. The floor is yours.
Mr. Speaker, I sympathize with my very good friend and honorable colleague, Honorable Kojo Nkrumah. It's a very difficult job. Mr. Speaker, it's obvious that you are as good as the budget. And if the budget that has been presented is empty, you can't force magic out of Kojo Nkrumah. And so I sympathize with you. But Mr. Speaker, I can count about 23 members on the other side. And this is their budget. If they are not interested, they should tell us to stop. Why are they not here? Mr. Speaker, the minister attempted to tell the people of Ghana that we should be celebrating a projected GDP of 1 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, have you delivered 1 billion GDP? 1 trillion, yes. Have you delivered any 1 trillion GDP? It is just a promise. And if we were to follow your promises, go to Abosu Okwai and ask them. Mr. Speaker, you are asking us to celebrate. Go and ask the Eurobond holders all the sweet and juicy things you told them about how you create heaven in Ghana, and they gave you the money. Today you are telling them you can't pay. As a matter of fact, in one of those circumstances, in 2019 when they came to eat the kenke fish, they had told the investor that Ghana will be producing 500,000 barrels of crude oil by 2020. We are in 2023. Have you even achieved 150,000 barrels? So, as for you and promises, if we follow you, go and ask the NAPCO beneficiaries. 70,000 of them have now joined what they call the Unemployed Youth Alliance. So this 1 billion is a ruse. 1 trillion, anyway, 1 trillion is a ruse. But Mr. Speaker, the reality is that this 1 trillion is difficult to even understand. You said that you are going to grow your GDP from 850 billion to 1050 billion, a trillion Ghana cedis. That is about 22% growth in your GDP. Then you said that you reduce your inflation from 35 to 15%. That is a gain of about 20% improvement in real numbers. What that also means is that your GDP is influenced by output and volume and not price. And yet when you put that together, your economy should be growing in real terms close to 20% to get that number. And when we ask you, what is the real growth? You say 2.8. Why are you cooking this? Even when you are cooking the number, you are not smart enough.
Something must be wrong.
I mean, this is voodoo economics.
Something is wrong somewhere.
But Mr. Speaker, since when did we use nominal GDP to assess the performance of an economy? That was done in the medieval time, the Stone Age. That was where we didn't know quantitative economics and we couldn't calculate inflation and deflate inflation. In the 21st century, you are still calculating GDP and assessing your economic performance on the basis of nominal GDP. That must tell you that something is wrong. The economy is in trouble. But Mr. Speaker, the minister was at pains to explain that this is an improvement of a GDP of 219 billion by His Excellency Dr. Mahama. Mr. Speaker, which one will you prefer? A GDP of 209 billion, where you go and buy 1 gallon of fuel or petrol for 16 cedis, and an economy of 1 trillion when you go and buy 1 liter of 24 Ghana cedis. Which one will you prefer? Will you prefer Dr. Mahama's economy, where you were drinking your calipo for 50 pesos, to your 1 trillion where you will now be buying that calipo for 6 cedis? Which one will you prefer? Which one will you prefer? a 219 billion economy in which you will buy an olonka of kokunte for the poor at 112 cedis, or 1 trillion where you buy olonka of kokunte for 500 Ghana cedis. So you must understand that economy is about livelihoods. It's about real growth. And the earlier you understand that, the better. Mr. Speaker, my colleague talked about revenue. And here again, they are cooking the numbers. You said that you are going to achieve a revenue target at the end of the year of 133 billion. And that is 15.7% of your GDP. But you will grow that revenue by about 1.1% to give you 16.8% of GDP. That 1.1 is about 11 billion. Mr. Speaker, when you add 11 billion to 133 billion, you get 144 billion. So where did you pluck that 176 billion from? That 176 that you have used to calculate your expenditure, where did you get it from? So clearly, you have inflated your revenue by over 40 billion so that you can now project an expenditure of 226 billion, so you can have 40 billion cushion for reckless expenditure in an election year. That is all that you have done. But Mr. Speaker, the minister said that they have impacted Ghanaians positively, all households. Mr. Speaker, it's true that they have impacted all households. But Mr. Speaker, we all know that they have impacted
Honorable Ranking, hold on. Let me cede the chair to the Right Honorable Speaker. So you've already spent almost 6 minutes. Yes.
And you just had the live debate from Parliament on the 2024 budget statement delivered by Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. We're bringing you more as the debate continues. But to some